Comparing and evaluating multiple projects, we'll be showing a couple of different ways. In this example, we'll use the direct Excel function to calculate the present value, and then we make the decision whether which project is the best option for us. Whichever give us the higher present value, we'll choose that one. So this is a very typical scenario for if you are taking any standardized test like professional engineering licensing exam or FE exam or a course test. So generally you're going to invest on something, it's going to generate some revenue, and then it will have some expense as well, and then also some value at the end of the life. So from there we can calculate the annual cash flow from the expense. In the problem it could be directly given the annual cash flow, or you have to calculate like this, subtracting the cost and the benefit like that. So then we can calculate the present value of each of these projects. We can simply type that function called PV, and then rate is 20%, it's for 10 years, and then payment, it's generating 11,000 per year. And then if we want to make this positive, we'll have to use a negative sign, because generally you'll have to use a negative sign in Excel. That's how it works. Also, the future value is 10,000, and at the end of the period, interest compounding convention. Now, we did not add that $40,000 investment we made at the beginning. So that's a negative cash flow went out from our pocket. So that's the total present value of choice A. And then we also calculated for choice B and C. So based on this information, as you can see that the project C give us the highest present value. So we'll invest on project C if we choose to do that. Now you could calculate the future value similarly. You can simply type that function called FV and then rate, comma, 10 compounding period. Again, use a negative sign before this annual cash flow. I meant to write cash flow, but and then we're gonna use this present value of the project, and then 0 at the end of the period convention, and then we're gonna add this future value with that. So that would be the future value of project A. And B and C all given. Again, if you the decision will not change. This is just another calculating way of calculating. I want to say this one is the cash flow, not expense. So cash flow. So we calculated that from the revenue and expense. You can also calculate the annual worth using the simply that PMT function. You can use the PMT function and then simply rate, comma, then this number of period, and then the present value. We're going to use a negative sign before that, and then comma, I think a plus, probably 2 commas, yes. So then the future value is this. I got to use a negative sign before that, and then end of the period convention plus this cash flow. So that is the cash flow for annual worth. So based on each of these, as I said, if you make a decision with the present value calculation, it will not change for the future value or annual worth. It's just a redundant calculation, but sometimes you can double check it whether you have done it correctly or not. Again, you can calculate the future value from the present value that you have calculated. This one, you can simply convert that, and then 0. This is the present value. This should be exactly, these two are exact same, like that. You can also calculate the annual worth from the present value you have calculated. So that's the rate, comma, 10, and then minus this guy, no future value. So as you can see, these two are the exact same thing. So basically, to summarize, you calculate the present worth, and then for each of these project, or annual worth or future worth, and then whichever give you the best return, you select that particular project.